Yeah, we had a discussion starting off saying interactive is an interesting word because pretty much everything has become interactive because eventually whatever there is, it ends up on your mobile in some form or online in some form. Films, even an outdoor activation ends up on your mobile where you interact with it. So it's a very interesting title for the category itself. Mobile is mobile, of course, but even online, when you think about it, films are online. It's everything is pretty much online now. So it's very broad, yes.
Yeah, exactly. In our jury, the public relations jury, we have seen a lot of cases with the use of mobile and digital. So as we were discussing, everything is intertwined right now, and it's increasingly difficult to differentiate between what is PR, what is influencer marketing, what's digital or social. Everything is mixed up, which in my opinion is really good. It's really good that it is like that because we don't have to limit ourselves in the use of certain tools.
Was the objective always to generate PR and then build a PR strategy, or was it to build a highly creative piece of work that resulted in a lot of PR? They pretty much end up in the same place, but is that what you look for as a differentiator, the strategic bit about how to get to that PR objective?
To be honest, no, that's not what we are looking for. I think PR is the business of influencing people or influencing perceptions or prompting change of some kind. And what we are looking for in those cases is, of course, creativity, but also a lasting effect. We want something that will bring a lasting effect, positive effect on society or on a business. And we also tend to look to a multi-stakeholder program instead of just trying to reach consumers or users or clients, whatever. We are trying to look at programs that engage different groups. And the third thing that we are looking at is that these programs do have the aim of changing something.
When you were talking about the impact a piece of work has, one thing we set out to look for was how creative was the solution. Not really, okay, fine, a mega brand that makes billions of dollars can generate a lot of PR results because of the spend behind it. But what can a small company that's independent and not have much money, how do they generate, even if it's a modest amount of PR, but through a really creative exercise? I think that's something we set out to look at, where let's not get impressed by, you know, the 50 billion impressions, or like, because these things can be also purchased at some point, right? I mean, in the sense of you can invest in it to generate that.
Yes.
But the real question then becomes how creative was the solution? How smart was it that got you to where you wanted to get to without investing that much money? That's another good thing to look for.
Absolutely. And also, how much engagement you needed to make it happen. We are not looking for those billionaire budgets, or when you have a huge celebrity, it's very easy to get press coverage. Not that a big brand cannot do something amazing.
Yeah,
I'm not
sure.
saying that. But we are also looking for subjects that are dry and hard to work with. And there are many examples of those that don't have this sex appeal. And you have to make something out of it. And we saw quite a few cases that show that kind of thing. If I would like to share one of those. It's by a humanitarian organization in Germany. And they seek for donations for countries in need. And it was the 1-year anniversary of that huge earthquake. I don't know if you remember, in Syria, in Turkey.
Yes,
And the mission was to remind people that those countries are far from getting organized again. They need donations. They engaged all kinds of media companies, digital outdoors, even social media, digital, print media, radio, TV. They engaged everyone to do a synchronized shake-up
I've seen this
on the screen with sound. And so you were looking at something at the street or on your home watching TV, and the screen would shake and make a noise, synchronized nationwide. And donations skyrocketed. So I think those kinds of solutions that really need convincing, influencing, engaging, negotiating, these are really good examples of excellent PR.
Another thing that we looked at was technology, and to be careful not to award technology, but the application of the technology. How engaging was the application? You know, there's so much talk about AI and what AI can generate, and one of the cases that stood out to me personally was an admission that AI is not perfect, and that was really refreshing. And this is from KFC, and what they did was they picked on one of AI's major faults, generative AI, which is that it can't get hands and fingers right. So sometimes it'll give you a hand with 7 fingers or 8 fingers. And KFC's tagline is finger licking good. So they asked people to generate all these images of hands with multiple fingers, excess fingers, and call it finger licking good. And I thought that was such a good use of technology that is flawed, and admitting that it's flawed, rather than make up something about it being perfect and look at how cool this is. And no, it's flawed. And I think just that humility, and it engaged a lot of people. The people started generating images of flawed hands, and that to me is a really good example of creating something using technology to engage people to generate that objective that you wanted as a result.
I was expecting to see more use of AI, and I didn't see much, and I was quite happy about it, to be honest. Of course, AI is a great tool, but I don't think we should be looking for the use of technology, as you said, in itself.
Obviously, we had a lot of AI work because it is an interactive category. I think the ones that stood out were the ones that had a lot of human insight to them, and it wasn't just nobody was getting blown away by the tech. If somebody did get blown away by the tech, it was because of what it meant to humans. Another good example is a case that was called Voice to Diabetes, and in India, you could use your mobile using this tech to detect through the pitch in your voice whether you were suspect for diabetes. Very smart technology, but the application of it and what it was doing for humanity was so much bigger than the technology itself.
And I really love this. Some of the brands bending the rules a little bit for the greater good. There was this case by a beer brand. They were sponsoring the Olympics, and they were trying to sponsor athletes directly, but the Olympics committee forbids direct payment to athletes. So what this brand did, which I found genius, they decided to pay their parents. They
That's
used
smart.
the parents in the whole campaign to talk about their kids. They paid that, and then they did
smart.
that in a way that the parents could donate the money to athletes without paying taxes. And it was fantastic, and there was nothing that the Olympics committee could do about it. So I think those kinds of solutions, simple ideas, even for big brands, that are the ones that really gets really get everything more interesting and more fun.
Just looking at the kind of work there is to look at, I think the shortlisting gave a really good round of work to look at. It is some of the best work in the world. I think the one show, it's amazing that they've kept that standard. We've seen a number of shows sort of slip a little bit, but this show has always maintained that superiority of ideas and execution and just intelligence in creative thinking. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's like a big honor to be here to look at all that happening.
Yeah, I feel the same. For me, it's like a creativity shower, and the people in the room as well, being able to discuss with that level of professionals is a lifetime experience. So it's amazing to be able to see so much good work and to have the opportunity to have an opinion and to listen to others. So the learning experience is really there. And I also think we are sort of honoring what we do on behalf of everyone else. Just to spend the time to look at those brilliant case studies that need to be seen and need to be known. I think it's honoring what we do and sending a message also about the power of what we do, how much we can accomplish with everything we do, how much we can influence people, and how the world is in dire need of people having and building their own opinions, being able to criticize what they see, what they read. So I think it's good to see that we not only have amazing professionals doing the work, but we have good people in the room. We need good people to do this job right now and to try to take care and to worry about the things that are happening and need taking care of. We need good human citizens doing the job.